Earth, Saturdays at 5 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Well, we have had over 70 reports of large hail and damaging winds across the country on Tuesday. That's a lot, folks, and we are watching out for more hail and strong winds and a tornado threat for Wednesday.
That hail will damage some cars there. And in San Francisco, they are finding new uses for plastic bags and milk cartons on this Earth Day 2008. We'll have tips on what you can do to help the environment.
Hey there, thanks so much for joining us for Evening Edition. I'm Sharon Resultan.
And I'm Rich Johnson. We've seen some strong storms near Baton Rouge and Hattiesburg Tuesday night, and we're going to see more of these storms right into our Wednesday, actually.
Unfortunately, as we mentioned, we saw quite a bit of hail, some strong winds on Tuesday as well. Eastern Kansas got hit with 1.5-inch hail, and you saw some downpours and some strong winds. But we are expecting even stronger storms, a possibility for Wednesday, so let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see the soggy central here. Boy, you've had enough of the soggy weather in some of the areas here in the central states, and all this heading toward the Mississippi Valley certainly isn't a scenario we want to play out again either. But there's a look at the showers, the thunderstorms, the locally heavy rain as we work our way on into western Texas and on up in through the Plain states. And you can see once again that across this region, that's where the potential will be for some gusty winds, some sizable hail again, and maybe isolated tornadoes. So more widespread area than what we saw for Tuesday. Thursday on into Friday, our opportunities for rain increase with a few more embedded showers and storms, and we'll see that rain moving into areas that do not need to see it. We're checking river levels, and still a lot of areas at flood stage, some even along the Mississippi River Valley still in major flood stage. So not the kind of scenario we want to see played out. Wednesday's outlook, you can see the severe is definitely expanded from Tuesday. Western Texas on up into the high plains of Colorado and moving out into Kansas. We're going to find the potential again for, gusty winds and some hail, isolated tornadoes, and then overnight stretching from the northern plains into the central plain states. So watching that region closely. And then the energy travels a bit farther northward, perhaps a little far north for April, but watching for severe weather potential from southern Minnesota, maybe around the Minneapolis area, down towards central Nebraska and northern portions of Kansas. Let's take it to Rich. He's got more on some of the things coming into play across the west.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. And we are still concerned about the issue with the very hot, very dry southwest. Of course, we haven't seen rain recently. Unfortunately, we're moving out of the wet season into the dry season, and there's very little in the way of prospects for rain. Strong winds also have fanned flames. You can see the crews battling a number of wildfires. This is the New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado region. What are these factors in causing the problems for us in the western United States? Well, we have this trough of low pressure, a deep trough. That's the one that allowed for the unusually cold weather up across northern Rockies and Pacific Northwest with the snow. What in the southwest? Well, it's just allowed the winds to kick up with this pattern here. We have a high pressure center offshore, winds flowing around that high, and we're getting a little bit of downsloping, plus it is just a very dry air mass in place. So you have the dry air, the lack of rain, and you get the wind. So if there's any small wildfires that are started, well, they can spread pretty quickly. Here's our situation as we look at the western United States. Another low ready to head right over toward the mouth of the Columbia River Gorge, and moisture coming in with this one here, and enough where we're seeing some of the precipitation all the way down to around San Francisco. So some rain trying to make its way a little farther south. Most of the precip will be northward, though, just like we saw last weekend over toward Washington and Oregon. This time, mostly in the form of rain in the northwest. Snow levels certainly will be rising up some, although as this front goes by the next couple of days, snow levels dropping down over toward eastern Washington state, for instance, maybe down to the valleys, still picking up snow. For you in Denver, Colorado, 77 degrees. You'll have some breezes out there. Phoenix, similar to what we had today, upper 80s. A little snow still coming in Thursday, maybe over toward West Yellowstone. Farther to the west, here comes that drying trend. Still some winds around Denver, L.A., nice day, 72 on Thursday. All right, that's what's going on in the west. Let's look at the rest of the country's forecast, starting with a look at Earth Day with Sharon.
We're going to take you on into the north.